from a copyright sense, the stuff that you make with these technologies is still really up in the air and kind of completely unlegally tested at all at this point.
Yep.
To the point that, like, if you're going to spend, it amazes me that we see AAA game studios that are so risk averse that they won't release a game that's not a sequel for the game they've already made. But their CEOs are like, yeah, we're all in on AI, buddy. We're, like, Krafton and Activision and Krafton and EA CEOs have both said in recent months, yeah, we're all in on AI. When in fact there's very little to no copyright protection in a lot of huge regions for the work that they're producing with this technology.
To build right off of what you just said, Will, the whole idea of, like, you want to see something you haven't seen before, right? Because that's part of the joy of experiencing other people's art, to, like, see things from other perspectives, to see what other people's imaginations can come up with, right? And there's a fundamental, I think this is maybe an easier way to define what I was saying about being human, right? It's like, we have emotions, and these emotions aren't always necessarily quantifiable in, like, a regimented way. Like, the whole thing, like, let's go back to a classic example for the show, like the Alien versus Aliens debate, right? Like, that whole franchise, like that was new, right? Like, nobody had really done that before. And, like, that was a bunch of people in a room saying, like, probably saying to each other, like, what's the most terrifying thing you can think of? Like, what really gets you going, like, gives you dread, you know? And, like, they're really thinking about this, like, and because AI is at a point right now where it's basically, the more I see of AI and the problems it has, it's like, it's basically in its early toddler phase. Like, it can regurgitate what it hears. It can kind of imitate what it's, like, the, other things are doing around it, but it doesn't really have a sense of being able to process in a way that, an adult human can, or even a teenager can, right? So when you try to create a monster for your game, right? Like, how are you going to tell it to make something fearsome, right? Like, how are you going to be able to convey the sense of, like, this is what causes dread in people. This is what causes, someone to be like, ooh, that feels a little uncomfortable.